Yo, so with the release of Spider-Man Far From Home, the final film in Phase 3 of the MCU, we now have 23 films. And I'm going to place my ranking here. Now, a few things go get started. Number one, this is only my list. It doesn't have to be anyone else's. I know that some of you will place certain films much higher. This is just my list. And yeah, off we go. Now, I've divided them into three tiers. The bottom tier is the ones I consider weakest, middle tier is the ones I feel, they're okay, and the top tier are the ones that are the best. Okay, so starting from the very bottom, number 23, Thor the Dark World. Usually, I'm also going to do this, that I'm going to say each ranking and then say a few words about it. So, Thor the Dark World in and my number 22, they're interchangeable as which one you consider worst, but yeah, Thor the Dark World came up for me. I don't find it unwatchable, and I will watch through it if I'm doing a big Marvel watch through, but yeah, Thor the Dark World, not really the best. Number 22, Iron Man 2. As I say, it's interchangeable with Thor the Dark World as which one you consider worse. I personally consider Thor the Dark World worse. Iron Man 2, once again, it's not unwatchable, but just didn't go in places where it worked best. Number 21, The Incredible Hulk. The only film apparently made by Paramount in the MCU, and as a result, yeah. I mean, Edward Norton does fine in it, and it's technically an okay movie, but yeah, not particularly very good. One step up from that, Thor. Thor is. Thor is. Well, I think it's open to interpretation. Some people I know will love it. I personally think it's okay. It's not my favourite, but yeah. My number 19 goes to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is an odd case for me because I feel like Doctor Strange is kind of on a similar level as Thor. I think it's a good film, and it is one that I would kind of rewatch with some frequency, but I don't know, maybe it just kind of feels kind of on the same level. I mean, they do some incredible stuff with it, but I only think it falls on the okay level. And number 18, finishing the kind of bottom tier, is Iron Man 3, which I think gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I mean, okay, some bigger comic fans may kind of argue about what they did to the Mandarin, and fair enough. But I honestly think that overall, I think the film's pretty entertaining. So honestly, I can't really put it any lower. Anyway, my middle tier, let's rattle these off quickly, goes Captain America: The First Avenger. A pretty good film, if probably the weakest in the Captain America franchise or trilogy. Number 16, Avengers: Age of Ultron. A pretty good film, even if it doesn't quite live up to the levels that the previous one did. Spider-Man: Homecoming. A pretty good introduction for Spider-Man into the main MCU, apart from his appearance in Civil War, which we'll come to. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, like with the Avengers, doesn't quite live up to the kind of levels that the first one set. It's a decent film, if not the best. Number 13, Ant-Man, which, once again, I think is a pretty good film. And number 12, Ant-Man and the Wasp, one step above its predecessor, which I guess you could argue between those two whether which is better, Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp. In this case, I put Ant-Man and the Wasp slightly higher, but yeah. I feel Ant-Man and the Wasp is all... Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp are the breathing room. Okay, we've just had big things happen in the MCU with Avengers: Age of Ultron and then with Infinity War. We need a little bit of breathing space and a little bit of time just to have something fun, and I think Ant-Man provides that. But now, 4 minutes in, and we're now up to the kind of top tier. The final 11 films. Okay. Number 11, Iron Man. The starting point of the MCU, and to be fair, I think it still holds up fairly well. It's one that I will rewatch if I decide I'm having a Marvel rewatch. I don't skip ahead to the best films. I think, okay, I'll start with Iron Man. Iron Man is still a very good film. Number 10, Captain Marvel. This film I feel got a lot more flack than it deserves. I mean, I personally feel it's a very good film. So I don't get why everyone hates it so much, but anyway, that's just me. So Captain Marvel makes number 10. Number 9, Spider-Man: Far From Home. I may be in a minority, but I think Far From Home is better than Homecoming. I mean, you could argue about the villains that maybe Michael Keaton is better than Jake Gyllenhaal, but in my case, I actually found Far From Home a little more entertaining than Homecoming. I came out of Homecoming thinking, okay, yeah, that was good. I came out of Far From Home thinking, wow, I'm sorry I doubted you, Marvel. So, yeah, I put Far From Home higher. Number 8, Captain America the Winter Soldier. This was a major step up. I mean, Captain America, first Avenger, that was okay. Avengers, he does well. Winter Soldier stepped it up a notch. That worked. Number 7, Thor Ragnarok. After two middling films with Thor the Dark World and Thor, Ragnarok is where they proved this was brilliant. I remember thinking to myself back in, I think it was 2017 when this film was released. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, yeah. The other films, I thought, yeah, okay, I did want to see them, but Thor Ragnarok, I thought, well, I didn't see the first two Thor films, I can probably skip it. But their friend of mine said, no, that's the one I'm intending to see. So I went and saw it, and yeah, Thor Ragnarok's brilliant. So that makes it my number 7. My number 6, The Avengers. This in 2012 was massive. This coming together of all the great superheroes, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, it was just amazing. I remember seeing it on, I think it was actually the Diamond Jubilee weekend for the Queen. It was either that or the Royal Wedding. And I remember going to see this, I think one day I went to see Men in Black. We had a 3-day weekend, so I think it was Men in Black 3 one night, then a blank day, and then the day after that seeing Avengers. So yeah, I love that film. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy did previously actually make my favourite movies list, to which I kind of debated about it whether Guardians of the Galaxy was better than the Avengers, and in this case I've decided it is. I mean, I remember watching the Guardians of the Galaxy with a family member, and they went, you know what, in some ways I think this is actually better than the Avengers. And when I look back on it, I felt, yeah, they had a point. So, yeah, Guardians ranks one step higher for me. One step above the original Guardians comes Black Panther. This is another one that did briefly make my top 10 movies list. I think it's still on there. And I just feel the way they show Africa, it's breathtaking. And it is one of those films that, okay, it's not perfect, but it managed to bring in a whole lot. I mean, they had a likeable protagonist with Chadwick Boseman, a really kind of scary villain with Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, and they legitimately did manage to make a great Marvel movie. One step above that, the introduction of Black Panther and Spider-Man, Captain America Civil War. This, while Avengers Age of Ultron had been okay, this felt like a step up. This was brilliant. I mean, just seeing them bringing a classic comic story to life on the big screen and in such an iconic way, it was breathtaking. I mean, just seeing these characters face off against each other, characters we've grown to know and love, just seeing them fight off against each other was just brilliant. One step above Civil War, Infinity War. This was the setup. And I remember seeing this in theatres and just thinking, whoa. And then reaching the end, it's just like, whoa. And but yeah, as I said, it was the setup. As my number 1 MCU film, Avengers Endgame. This felt to me like an event. I remember sitting there in the theatre, watching it through and just being in awe, almost throughout the entire thing. It still was beautiful. So yeah, I may have been a bit brief in my responses about which film and why it ended up where it was, but there you go. I wanted to get this under 10 minutes, so there you go. My ranking of the MCU from Iron Man through to Spider-Man Far From Home. My ranking. Anyway, we'll have to see what the MCU brings up next. Rumours are they've got a Black Widow solo movie in the works, kind of looking at her past. We've also got something from the Eternals. And presumably we'll have more installments for Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Black Panther. But we'll have to see what they bring up. Plus, also some Fantastic Four or X-Men would be nice. Until we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, until next time. See ya.